By the way, I've never had a conversation with your husband yet. I'd like to speak to him soon. Will you introduce me to him?
Yes, but my husband's really busy. I'm not sure if he'll be able to take any time off work to speak with you. I need to go now. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Trouble Busters!
My name is Alan, and I'm currently working overseas as a member of JICA. There are lots of people in the world that need help. That's why I decided to join JICA and do what I can for society and people in need. It's been 2 years since I moved here. Time flies. I love working here. I'm craving some sushi. I miss Japanese food.
I've been here for 10 years now. 2 years is nothing compared to how long I've been here. I dream often about sushi too. In my dreams, I'm at a sushi restaurant eating as much as I want. I can see that you've adjusted to life here.
I'm learning a lot from my job. I feel that I'm growing as a person too.
Yes, I can tell. You've grown so much from the time that you've just moved here. People around me tell me that I've grown too. It makes me happy.
I can see the change in your eyes. I couldn't believe how much my life had changed in the past 2 years.
Oh, by the way, who's that pretty girl you're always talking to over video?
That's my older sister.
It's nice that you and your sister are so close. She didn't seem like she was your girlfriend, so I was wondering who she was. Your sister's really beautiful. I'm sure the guys won't leave her alone.
It was true. My sister Helen was very beautiful and also really smart. Everyone loved her, and I was proud to be her little brother. Helen got married around 6 months ago, and she's currently 8 months pregnant. We lost our parents early, so Helen is my only family. We help each other out anytime it is necessary. My sister Helen is 8 months pregnant, and she's going to be a mother soon. I'm planning to return to Japan for a while to meet the baby when it arrives. I've been in touch with Helen lots to get updates on her pregnancy.
So that means that you're going to be an uncle soon. How exciting!
I wasn't expecting to become an uncle at such a young age, but I was really excited to meet Helen's baby. The following day, I was on another video call with Helen. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. Thanks for asking. I can feel the baby kicking me from inside my stomach. It's really exciting. How are things for you?
I'm good as always. I really miss Japanese food though. The food here isn't great. I plan to return to Japan for a bit after you have the baby, so let's eat some delicious sushi together.
I can't wait for you to come and see me and the baby. We'll be waiting for you with lots of tasty Japanese food.
I'm glad to see that you're enjoying your pregnancy. You're lucky that you got married to a handsome and rich guy.
Yes, I am. And he's very sweet to me. He even hired a housekeeper to help me with the household chores. I'm really lucky to have professional help that allows me to focus on my health and pregnancy.
Aw, you have such a glamorous life. I'm envious. Now I won't feel bad when I ask you to treat me to really expensive sushi.
Sounds good. But what about a baby gift for me?
That's a surprise for you to look forward to.
Yay! I can't wait! My husband knows a great sushi restaurant, so we can all go together when you're back.
By the way, I've never had a conversation with your husband yet. I'd like to speak to him soon. Will you introduce me to him?
Yes, but my husband's really busy. I'm not sure if he'll be able to take any time off work to speak with you. I need to go now. Talk to you soon. Bye!
I've been catching up with Helen every week via video. But whenever I ask her to introduce me to her husband, she finds a reason to end our call. Helen's husband is a successful CEO of an IT company. He started his own business when he was young, and he's really famous in the industry.
Oh, look! It seems that a famous actress is dating some hot CEO of an IT company. So much gossip. Who reads this garbage?
I had no idea that you take interest in gossip. You probably know more stuff than someone that's actually living in Japan.
Reading Japanese gossip helps me to keep up to date with what's trending in Japan.
Melanie knew all the gossip in Japan, so I would often ask her what is trending in Japan.
This one is big. A famous idol is having an affair with a married CEO of an IT company. Says that the CEO is newly married. He got married only 6 months ago.
What? Really? That can't be true. The CEO is my sister Helen's husband.
What? I heard that he's a real player. Your sister is married to him?
I had no idea that Helen's husband was notorious for being a player. He's famous for dating lots of women? What's your opinion about him?
He's dated so many celebrities in the past. He is not only famous for his business achievements, but also for his romantic relationships. I wonder why your sister chose to marry him. She's so gorgeous and intelligent. She could have chosen someone more sincere.
That's something that I'd like to ask Helen myself. She became pregnant first, so they decided to get married for the baby. They aren't even having a wedding.
I see. I guess that makes sense. Her pregnancy is longer than her marriage.
She seems happy though. Although now, I kind of understand why she is reluctant for me to meet him.
Well, maybe she's happy with his money and having a baby, but I don't think her marriage is a happy one. You're the only one that can understand what she's going through. You should check to see if she's really all right.
I was concerned after hearing the way Melanie described Helen's husband to me. I decided to take her advice and check to see that Helen really was doing okay. Hi, Helen. How are you?
I'm good. How come you're so quiet today? Did something bad happen at work? Did a wild animal attack you?
Helen appeared to be happy, but I needed to get her to tell me how she was feeling on the inside, and I wondered if she had read the gossip about her husband cheating on her. Nothing bad happened. I'm good too, although I didn't get enough sleep last night.
Not getting enough sleep will have negative effects when you're older. You need to get enough sleep.
I then happened to see a bruise on the inside of Helen's arm. I was shocked. Did it have anything to do with the fact that her husband had a lover? Helen, what happened to your arm? It's bruised.
Well, I bumped my arm when I was cleaning the house. I do that a lot. I get so focused on what I'm doing that I forget to look out for sharp edges.
But I thought that you had a housekeeper to help you with the household chores.
I don't want to make her do everything, so I do what I can. Also, I need to move around a little for my baby, so there's nothing for you to worry about.
Okay, if you say so. By the way, did you see the news about your husband? I read that he was having an illicit rendezvous with a famous Japanese idol. I asked Helen the question that I'd been dying to know the answer to.
Huh? What are you talking about? A delivery man is at my door, so I need to go now. Bye!
I could tell that Helen was lying to me. And just like Melanie had predicted, Helen seemed to be in an unhappy marriage. Now that I knew the truth, I had to figure out a way to help Helen. I told Melanie about my conversation with Helen and asked her for advice.
I think that Helen is hiding her true feelings because she doesn't want you to worry about her. Probably thinks that you'd quit your job and return to Japan if you found out the truth about her marriage.
You're right. I so would do that if Helen was in trouble. She's the only family that I have.
She knows that you work really hard for JICA, and she wouldn't want you to give that up. She doesn't want to get in the way of your dreams.
I wish Helen were able to tell me how she was really feeling. I don't want her to struggle on her own. I began to think of ways that I could help Helen. A week passed since I last spoke to Helen. I received several urgent text messages from Helen asking me for my help.
Helen, help! I'm hurt and I can't get up. My husband kicked me in the stomach and my water broke. I called an ambulance, but it might be too late to save my baby. I'm sorry that I've been hiding the truth from you all this time. I lied about being happy. My husband isn't loving at all. He's really cruel and mistreats me all the time. I'm going to send you a recording of a conversation between my husband and I from earlier. If something bad happens to me, promise that you'll do everything in your power to protect my baby. You're the only one that I can turn to.
I was really mad at myself, because 2 hours had passed since Helen had sent me those messages. I was in a sudden panic. I wasn't sure if Helen and her baby were safe. Melanie came over to see if I was okay.
Alan, are you okay? Were you able to speak to your sister about the article?
Melanie, my sister's in a lot of trouble. She needs my help, but...
Alan, calm down. Tell me what happened. I'm usually quite resourceful in an emergency.
I was relieved to have Melanie by my side to help me. Look at all the text messages that my sister sent me a few hours ago. I showed Melanie the messages that I had received from Helen earlier. Melanie then came up with a brilliant idea.
Let's have our team in Japan check up on your sister.
Melanie then got in touch with the team in Japan.
This is Melanie. Are you aware of any emergency visits to the hospital? The patient is a woman who's pregnant. Her water broke earlier. I see. Thank you for letting me know.
I then remembered that Melanie used to work for the rescue team in Japan. I was amazed by Melanie's calm and precise actions.
Alan, I found out that Helen's already at the hospital being treated. It seems that she's in critical condition. Let's get you on a plane to Japan right away.
Oh, I can't believe that this is happening. My poor sister! As I was fretting, Melanie booked my flight and packed up my things. I was so grateful for her help. She even came with me to Japan to help. What a nice colleague she was. Melanie, thank you so much for your help. I wouldn't have been able to get back to Japan so quickly hadn't it been for your quick actions.
Well, we still need to get to Helen and make sure that she will be all right. You're the only one that can save her from this nightmare.
Thank you for reaching out to the rescue team here.
Yes, I used to work with them for about a year. I contacted one of my teammates to check which hospital Helen is staying at.
Helen sent me a recording of the conversation between her and her husband right before he kicked her in the stomach. I had Melanie listen to the recording. We could hear Helen and her husband arguing about the article mentioning her husband's affair.
Is what they wrote in that article true?
How could it be? It's just stupid gossip. I want to sue them for writing all these lies about me.
But what about the photos? They look pretty real to me.
Fake too. It's easy to fake photos nowadays.
Then what about the video of you yelling at this reporter?
Do you not believe it when I say that I'm innocent? I'm the victim here. Being famous like me makes me an easy target. That's not me. It must be a doppelganger. The media must have paid him to act like me.
Okay, I'm going to take your word for it then.
You should.
Then who is that woman?
Oh, did you see her? I asked you to stay hidden so that my wife wouldn't see you. She's my girlfriend. I'm sorry for keeping it a secret.
Hi, I'm Julie. Nice to meet you. I got tired of waiting, so I came here. If we don't leave soon, we'll be late for our flight. I can't wait to go on holiday with you. What is she saying? Don't tell me that you're leaving me home alone so that you can go on vacation with your lover. I don't know what to believe anymore.
Look, I'm tired of lying to you, so I'm going to come out and say it. I'm not in love with you. I love Julia, and we're leaving together for Hawaii today. Stop giving me a hard time and leave us alone. Then, Helen's husband kicked her in the stomach.
Ouch! Oh no! My water broke! I need you to take me to the hospital right away!
You're fine. Don't make this a big deal. I don't have time to take you to the hospital anyway. I have the baby here if you need to.
Let's go. We're going to miss our flight.
You're right. Let's get out of here.
I can't get up. What am I supposed to do? I haven't told Alan about my marital problems, so I don't know if I can call him for help. Besides, he lives overseas. He's the only person that I can rely on.
The recording of the conversation ended there. And Helen must have sent me those urgent text messages soon after and then lost consciousness. Her husband is terrible to Helen. She doesn't deserve to be treated this way.
I agree. She deserves so much better. She should leave him.
I'm sure Helen would agree after what he put her and her baby through. I'm worried about her condition. I hope that she and her baby will be okay.
Her husband needs to be punished for being violent with Helen and their baby. I've come up with a brilliant plan.
You're a genius. We're going to teach Helen's husband a big lesson. Time for Trouble Busters! As soon as we landed in Japan, we went straight to the hospital. At the same time, we began to work on a plan to teach Helen's husband a lesson. 3 days after I had returned to Japan, I was at my sister's house, waiting for her husband to return. Helen's husband came home after spending a few relaxing days in Hawaii with his lover. The lights are on. Is Helen home? Helen, are you home already? Has our baby been born? I'm Helen's brother, Alan. I had hoped that I would be happier to see you. What are you doing in my house? Both Helen and the baby died. I just came from their burial. This must be a joke. Because of you, I have no family left. Right. You already lost your parents. I thought that you worked overseas. You're not serious about Helen and the baby dying though, right? I am serious. They both died while you were in Hawaii with your lover. Helen was fine before I left for Hawaii. What happened to her? This is so not my fault. It seemed that Helen's husband didn't know about Helen contacting me after their fight. He didn't even pretend to worry about Helen. What an asshole. The rescue team then arrived to Helen's house.
Are you the owner of this house?
Yes, I am.
I'm one of the members of the rescue team that took Helen to the hospital the other day. I found her unconscious on the floor of this room when I came into the house.
I see. I had no idea. I wasn't home at the time. I couldn't believe the way that he was behaving. This was totally his fault and he was trying to act innocent.
There are a few questions that we would like to ask you.
Yes, go ahead. I'd like to cooperate in any way that I can.
When I arrived at your house, Helen's heart had already stopped.
I had no idea. My poor Helen. But I thought that she went to the hospital because her water broke.
How did you know about her water breaking? You said minutes ago that you had no information about what had happened to Helen.
I just assumed that's what happened. I'm her husband after all, and she was 8 months pregnant, so something like that could have happened, right?
We have good reason to believe that what happened to Helen wasn't an accident, but that someone did this to her. Would you mind coming down to the police station with us for questioning?
What do you mean it wasn't an accident? You're not saying that I'm a suspect, are you?
It looked as if Helen was pushed or kicked down by somebody. We hope that you weren't the one that did this to Helen.
Why would I do that to my beloved wife? Besides, Helen was fine when I left the house.
We hope that you're not lying. Lying is considered a crime in this type of situation. If you're lying,
What happens if I were to be lying?
you could be charged for murder, assault, or perjury. You could go to jail. I don't work for the police, so I can't tell you which crime you'll be charged with, but... So let's speak with the police and see what they say. I asked them to come here to save time.
What? They're coming to my house?
Yes, they are. I called them. I just feel that what you're telling us is not adding up, so it'd be best to involve the police and have them decide. But you say that you have nothing to hide, so there's nothing to worry about.
Wait! I just gave her a little push. It was nothing. I obviously didn't kill her. The police would be crazy to charge me for murder.
So you pushed Helen down then? Then you know Helen's water broke as a result.
Yes, I do. I'm telling you the truth. I went on my trip knowing that Helen was hurt. I didn't think that she would die from her water breaking. This isn't my fault.
But you knew that she was hurt and you didn't even bother to call an ambulance, correct? I think that you will be charged with some sort of crime. You basically left her to die alone. On top of that, you let your unborn baby die too.
Look, I told you the truth. Doesn't that make the situation a little more advantageous for me? Things might have been better for me if I had stuck to my lies. I've been listening the entire time, and I can tell that you feel no remorse for what you've done to Helen and your baby. We've already submitted a recording of your conversation with Helen before you kicked her to the police as evidence. I had no idea that Helen had been recording that conversation. If I compare going to prison to being all over the gossip section of the news, I'd rather be gossiped about. Helen's husband was taken to the police station by the police officer that came to the house. I asked the police to prosecute Helen's husband for being violent to her. After that, I went to the hospital to see how Helen was doing. Helen, how are you feeling? And how's your baby doing?
Yes, both the baby and I are doing well. Thank you for checking up on us. I'm sorry that you had to fly here to help me. I'm sure that you were busy with work.
Your husband is being questioned by the police as we speak. He's going to pay for what he did to you and your baby. We wanted him to feel bad for what he did to you, so for the time being, we tricked him into thinking that he killed you and the baby.
At first I was excited about getting married to him, but it turns out that he's not the man that I thought he was. Your husband will eventually find out that you're alive, but for now we want him to suffer. He needs to understand that he really hurt you and your baby.
I was able to get here quickly and help you thanks to Melanie's quick thinking. I couldn't have done this without her. Thank you for all your help, Melanie.
Yes, thank you very much, Melanie. We don't have family to turn to, so having a friend like you makes us so happy. No need to thank me, I was only doing what I do best.
Melanie was so kind and modest. Well, I'm most happy that Helen and the baby were not severely hurt by what Helen's husband did to them. Helen's husband was found guilty for being violent with Helen, and then leaving her at home alone to suffer. His company lost its reputation, and he had no choice but to live a life of a recluse. The news about Helen's husband was reported widely, and everyone gossiped about it. After some time, though, people forgot about him altogether, and he lost his social status completely. As for Julia, she broke up with Helen's husband and was forced to leave her idol group after her reputation went down. Helen divorced her husband and got him to pay her alimony. She no longer had a husband, but she was very happy with her newborn baby. Melanie and I continue to work for JICA, and we do what we can for people around the world in need. Trouble Busters!